I'll never forget the night flashing red and blue lights danced across my cedar ceiling. A voice shouted through the window, "Sir, step outside with your hands visible." My coffee was still warm on the nightstand. My dog, Duke, gave one slow thump of his tail, then went still. Right there on the mantel sat my father's folded flag. It's the one from his military service. And all I could think was, how on earth did I become a stranger in my own home? Her name was Karen, chair of the HOA's Compliance and Safety Committee. She talks like a traffic ticket in human forms, miles without blinking. Writes everything down now. Our HOA boundary ends at the paved road. My cabin. It sits past the split rail fence, up an old logging spur my grandfather cleared 50 years ago. No dues, no bylaws. No clubhouse key. My deed says it clear as day. But Karen, she treats limits like suggestions. That evening was quiet. Early October, cold enough for breath to hang in the air. I'd chopped oak, simmered chili, poured a finger of bourbon after the fire settled. It was my first fall without Mom. She loved this place. Said the pines sounded like church when the wind moved through them. I fell asleep early. Duke curled by my boots, peaceful, until the world lit up like a police show. The deputy's voice was calm but firm. "Sir, we had a call about a trespasser. Neighbors said someone broke into this cabin." A trespasser. That word stung. I pulled on jeans and a flannel, stepped onto the porch. The air smelled like wood smoke and frost. "Evening, deputy," I said, steady. "This isn't a break-in. This is my home." And then I saw her, Karen, standing beside her SUV, arms folded tight, HOA badge clipped to her sweater like it meant something out here. Two neighbors lingered behind her, half ashamed, half curious. That's her trick. Drag other folks into her battles so she can call them community issues. "Proof of residency?" she snapped. I almost laughed. "I don't owe you anything, Karen." The deputy stepped between us. "Sir, if you could show proof of ownership, we can clear this up fast." Inside, I pulled a folder from my father's old roll-top desk. Deed. Survey map. A county letter older than half the HOA board. I handed them over. The deputy's flashlight danced over the papers, then he nodded. "Everything checks out." Karen wasn't done. "Deputy, he's been storing tools using loud equipment, and I saw smoke last month during a burn ban." Held her stare. "Last month I was in Austin moving my daughter into college, and the county lifted that ban 2 weeks ago." Then to the deputy. "This isn't her first false alarm," he sighed. "Ma'am, this cabin's outside HOA jurisdiction. This gentleman's within his rights." Her lips tightened. "He's not on the HOA roster." "That's suspicious," I said quietly. "It's exactly what I've told you for years. Your authority ends where the pavement does." Duke stepped onto the porch and leaned against my leg, sensing the tension. I scratched behind his ear and heard my father's voice in my head. "Son, you don't win fights with shouting. You win them with patience and the truth." The deputy asked to see the property line. We walked through the cold, our flashlights cutting through mist. At the fence post, I pointed to the rebar stake, the orange cap, and the old oak still marked with survey paint. "This line's older than our houses," I said. "This cabin was once a ranger's lookout." Karen followed, muttering about community standards. "We can't have people coming and going at all hours," she said. "It frightens folks." That's when disbelief turned to resolve. "Karen, you saw my truck and a porch light and called 911? You have my number. You've used it before, 3 times, about mailbox paint. You could have called. You didn't. Because this was never about safety. It's about control." Deputy cleared his throat. "Ma'am, false reports waste resources. Please keep that in mind." I nodded toward him. "Could you add to your notes that I'm the owner and this property's outside HOA governance?" He agreed. "I'll file that report." Karen's jaw tightened. "You think this is over? We'll petition the county to annex this road. Then you'll have to follow our rules." But her threat didn't rattle me. "I'd seen storms before you. Just close the shutters and let them pass." "Karen," I said evenly, "you do what you need to do, and I'll do what I'm about to do." When everyone left, I went inside, pulled out a folder labeled with my grandfather's name. Inside were deeds, maps, and an old contact list. At the top, my uncle's number. He's a county judge. I stepped back onto the porch and dialed. "Evening, Judge. Got a little HOA situation at the cabin?" Chuckled softly. "Let me guess, Karen again." "You could say that," I replied. He sighed. "Time to end this dance? I'll send the county surveyor out to confirm the line, and I'll email you the public memo stating HOA limits. Post it on your fence, laminated." I smiled. "Thanks, Uncle. She's also threatening annexation." He laughed outright. "She can try, but annexation requires majority consent. And you, my friend, are the majority up there. If she abuses 911 again, the sheriff will handle it." Relief washed over me, not victory, just peace. The kind you feel when you finally secure something your parents built. Next morning, I printed the documents, laminated them at the hardware store, and pinned one to my fence. One beside my door right under Dad's flag. I added a small sign, "Private property outside HOA, owner present," by afternoon. Karen came walking up with her clipboard. I brought 2 mugs of coffee, hoping maybe she'd take one. She stopped at the fence. Eyes scanning the document, lips moving fast. Then she froze. Her face went pale. "You called the judge," she said quietly. "I called my uncle," I told her, "and the truth." It answered. The wind rustled through the trees. Duke sat by my boot. I spoke softly. "Karen, I'm not your enemy. I clear snow from this road every winter. I haul garbage out of the creek every spring. But I won't be pushed off my own porch. I'll have cops show up because I went to bed early." Something in her expression shifted. "It's my job to keep the neighborhood safe," she said, voice lower now. "Then do it," I replied. "Start by knocking before dialing 911. Learn where the road ends. And if you ever get nervous out here, my porch light's on. Coffee's hot. Sugar's inside." She didn't take the mug, but she nodded one slow human. "I'll update the committee." Then she turned and walked off into the wind. That night, the lake lay still as glass. I sat on the steps, Duke's head resting on my boot. Stars came out one by one. My phone buzzed. Text from a neighbor. "Sorry about last night." Karen gets wound up. "We know it's your place. You're a good neighbor." "Need help stacking firewood?" I smiled. "I'm good. But Chili's on Saturday, if you want some." They came. We ate, laughed, and swapped stories that ended with someone shaking their head, saying, "Only in this neighborhood." The road felt lighter after that, not because I'd won anything, but because the truth finally stood tall on its own. Here's what I learned. Sometimes you don't defeat a bully. You outlast them with facts, kindness, and a porch light that never lies. Have you ever faced an HOA like this? Share your story in the comments. I read every one. And if you believe some fights are worth having, hit subscribe. Let's stand up together, neighbor by neighbor, porch light by porch light, until every road feels like home again.